In this video, I'm going to introduce you to a number of different solutions or technologies that help children learn to read. And it's all part of my resources to help parents survive and learners thrive. Now, I'm not even going to attempt to show you solutions in great detail. I'm just going to introduce you to them, and I'm only going to show you the technical solutions, but there are really good paper-based solutions too. And if I come in here, I want to tell you about a PDF I've created of all the fantastic resources that can help children learn to read, and there will be details on how to get this book later. But in this book, I talk about the electronic intervention solutions, or the technical solutions, which is what I'm going to show you now. But it has so much more than that in it. It will tell you about the paper-based solutions. It will give you tips on how to make it work for your family, but it will also provide parents with free online training resources, because it's not straightforward teaching how to read. Just because you can read doesn't mean that you can train your dyslexic child to read. So these are fantastic free resources, but I also want to make you aware of free trials that exist, and this book will tell you all about them, but I will mention them in this video too. It is also worth saying here that there are far more electronic solutions than I'm going to show you in this presentation. I've selected these solutions because they're the ones I have experience with, so I can pass that on to you and hopefully help you. I should also highlight that I really rate all the solutions I'm going to show you. If I didn't rate them, I wouldn't bother creating a video about them. So free trials, what companies offer to individuals is very different to what they offer to schools, and right now, as schools are closed, an awful lot of these products can be available free for schools. So if you can contact your school, the Senko, or another member of staff, maybe they can organize free trials. But if not, there are often advantages to having your own copy at home, and some of these companies do offer free trials to individuals. And how you get the PDF with all this information is in the details below, but I will talk about it at the end of this video too. In a separate video, I've explained in detail why I chose technology for my children, so it might be worth checking that video out. My aims in putting this video together for you is I want to save you time and money. All of us are short on time, and if you're having to homeschool as well as work from home, you need all the help you can get. And by telling you a bit about them, I hopefully will help you make wise buying decisions, therefore save money, and also telling you about free trials. Because truthfully, if you were just to Google technology or solutions to help children learn to read, or intervention solutions, you would be absolutely overwhelmed by the amount of solutions available. And so what I'm trying to concentrate on today is I want to give you an idea what they look like, what they help with, what I liked about them, and any drawbacks that I found. So I just want to help you from my experience, and I will point out the free trials as well. So let me get off, and I'm going to start off with NESSY. And personally, I love NESSY. It's a very reasonably priced solution. They do a lot more than reading and spelling, but I'm just talking about reading and spelling now, but these are some of the other products that they do. And this first screen is showing you one of the very first lessons. So the children will wear headphones, and then they will watch these really entertaining, fun videos, and then they will play games to test their knowledge. And then they also have worksheets that you can print out, and to use it at its best, you do it all by targets. So they start off by doing a little spelling and reading test, and the system works out what they need to learn and then takes them through that they work through their own targets. And we see it starts at a very simple level, and it's based on Orton Gillingham, and it's been influenced by the Alpha to Omega programs. And I haven't just got the one screen, I've also shown you this is one of the higher islands, so you get an idea of the sort of spellings it includes. It isn't just really basic stuff. But what I didn't say earlier, which I really should have, is I love their strapline, learning happens when it's fun. And I find that to be absolutely correct. Children like this, and therefore they find it fun and they are prepared to do it. So in my experience, children love it. I could tell you on so many different circumstances where I was working in schools and I had to take children out of fun activities, and I felt really bad because I felt that's not fair, they shouldn't miss out on that. But they were delighted to come and do NESSY. That really encouraged me. And with my own children, that they'd often say, oh, I don't want to do it, don't make me do it. And if I'd say, well, look, just do 10 minutes, I'd often find they were doing it 30-40 minutes later, because once they started it, they did enjoy it. I've already mentioned that NESSY Reading and Spelling is only one of their products, and I've used all of these and they're very good. Something that you might not realise is within NESSY Numbers they have Clock Island, which is an excellent way of teaching dyslexics how to tell the time, because all three of my children really struggled with learning to tell the time, and so I would really recommend their Clock Island, which is part of NESSY Numbers. I would say it is most suitable for primary school students. I personally don't use it with my secondary school students. It's not because the level of reading and the vocabulary isn't suitable for secondary. It's just I find the phonics quite babyish, and if one of their peers were to look over their shoulder, they'd say, why are you doing that babyish work? And it would really hurt the child's self-esteem. So I tend not to use it in secondary schools, but I know of many secondary schools that do use it and the students love it. It's affordable. I think it's a cheap and cheerful solution. At the moment it's been offered free for schools, so if your school isn't using it, it is worth telling your Senko about it. But I do think there are advantages of having your own copy, because the children really need to be supervised, and as a parent you can oversee their progress, how they're getting through their targets, helping them when targets are too difficult or too easy. Far better when you have your own copy, and because it's not that expensive, it is quite a worthwhile investment. But I do think parents and staff need training. I really never agree with any solution you're just leaving a child in front of it and not helping them work their way through it. Dyslexics tend to be very bright and they're very good at avoiding work, and because there are so many fun things that they can do in NESSY, they work out all the fun things they can do and earn nuggets without actually progressing. So you do have to keep an eye on them. Very soon I'm going to create a video to help parents to oversee children working on NESSY. So that's everything I was going to tell you about NESSY Reading and Spelling. This is Lexia Core 5 and this is, I think, one of my favourite intervention packages. It doesn't just cover phonics, and actually one of the things that I should have said is one of the criticisms that I've heard of NESSY Reading and Spelling is it only does phonics, and a lot of dyslexics struggle with phonological awareness and fluency and comprehension, which NESSY doesn't do as much of. But I would say to that, if a child is struggling to get the phonics in the day and this gives them a way of getting it at home or in intervention lessons that they enjoy, then I think that is a really worthwhile investment. But here we see Lexia Core 5 is a lot more than a phonics package. It covers phonics, but it does phonological awareness, it works on fluency, structural analysis, comprehension and vocabulary. So it's a lot more comprehensive package. It also does have really nice graphics, but I don't find that children love it as much as NESSY. Maybe it's the GUI, the graphical user interface, but it could also be because it makes them work a little bit harder on things they don't like analysis, comprehension and fluency. And to give you an idea of what lessons look like, here's something in more detail, and here you see a literacy package. Now, Core 5 is actually their primary solution, not their secondary solution. Power Up is Lexia's secondary solution, but this is a fluency package for when you've progressed a bit through it, and I'd be very happy if my 18-year-old was confident reading that now. So it does go to a level that really stretches primary school students, and because the GUI isn't so babyish, then they can use it, I find, in secondary school too. So my experience, my own children tolerated it rather than loved it, but as I say, I think it made them work harder. But it does have a lovely GUI. The graphics are engaging without being babyish. It's much more than a phonics package, suitable for primary and secondary. It's highly adaptive. It works out what the child can do and cannot do, and it will give them more particular questions that will help them, which is fantastic. The reporting is great. You get to see your child's strengths and weaknesses very easily. Now, you cannot buy it from the UK now. You have to buy it from the US because they only sell it to schools here. They are giving it away free, I think, for schools at the moment, or they do free trials, but only for schools. You cannot get a free trial as a family, but it is an excellent package. But it again, it's more expensive than NESSY, and I don't like talking prices because these videos date, and so it's better if you just go and try out by using the links in the PDF to see what the current pricing is. Wordshark. I've included this because sometimes sometimes the assessment reports recommend Wordshark, so I wanted to show you what it looked like, and my children used this before I discovered NESSY, and it's a very comprehensive, thorough resource. It's something that dyslexia tutors have used for years and years and years, but this gives you an idea what it looks like. And if I was to tell you my experience, I'm going to talk about this more quickly because it's more ancient history now, my experience, although I did have a demo of their new online product recently, and it still did look really similar. So you can buy it on a USB or you can download it as a family. The online version is only available for schools, and I believe that in this particular pandemic you cannot get the USB, you can only download it at the moment. So here I am showing some prices because I wanted to share that information. So in my opinion, the graphics are somewhat dated, and my own children thought it was great. It was better than any workbooks that I gave them, but then once they saw NESSY or Lexia Core 5, then they really didn't like the graphics. But it is great value for money because you only pay once. You're not an annual thing, it's not a monthly thing, you just pay for it once, and children can input their own spelling lists, so they're able to do that to prepare for spell tests. But having said that, there are lots of free solutions that enable you to do this now and allow children to play games, and there's details of that on my website. But what it is very good at is it's extremely comprehensive, and it obviously understands the national curriculum, and it has all the information there to help children prepare for stats. But I think it was designed more with dyslexia tutors in mind, so it does assume a certain amount of knowledge by the parent or the tutor. And I found NESSY and Lexia Core 5, the way they did a test to work out your children's weaknesses, I found that easier as a parent, although I think if I was a tutor I'd probably prepare this because you have a bit more control, although you can override as a parent if you know what you do in the other products as well. I now want to show you Units of Sound. I think Units of Sound is an absolutely excellent package. It's very different to the other packages in that it's the only one where you wear headphones with a microphone and you speak into it, and it checks what you're saying. It checks that you're reading right and you're saying the sounds right. So it has reading, spelling, memory and dictation, which is something that the others do not do. And my experience is I think it's excellent. It's really well researched and thorough. I think it was developed by Dyslexia Action. It's no longer sold by them, but that's who developed it. They have an auto route that frees up teachers from monitoring. It covers a lot more than phonics. It also does memory and dictation. It has fantastic online help. It listens to how the students read. The graphic is extremely uncluttered. So for some students, this would be brilliant. I think it's brilliant for adults and further education colleges. I think it's great for any student that's really serious and wants to improve their reading. But a lot of my younger students just find it too dull, and they only like it if they get out of doing something they really hate. So if they get out of a lesson where they have to read out loud and do comprehension, then they think units of sound is great. But on the whole, getting them to work on it every day at home is very difficult because it's not engaging, but it is an excellent package. Dyslexia Gold, it comes at helping dyslexics in a very different way. It was developed by another mother of dyslexics, and these are brilliant solutions, and I'll show you them quickly. Within Dyslexia Gold, we have Engaging Eyes that looks at the visual issues that many dyslexics have. Fluency Builder that looks at the auditory problems that a lot of dyslexics have, and Spelling Tutor, because most dyslexics really struggle with spelling, and they since then have now gone on to have Times Table Tutor, which uses a lot of the really great teaching techniques. Dyslexia Gold does tend to come at things at a different way, and I think it's excellent. I'll just show you a bit more information. Engaging Eyes, I've seen it really help children improve their reading, and yet they're not looking at letters, they're not sounding out, they're not having to read. So instead they're doing target practice, and some of my students just loved it because it was a break from all the phonics and the literacy, and yet it still helped them improve their reading. Fluency Builder is all about the sounds, how each letter sounds, and so it's really helping improve phonological awareness. So Spelling Tutor, even though it's a technical solution, it's the only one that I know of that requires children to sit with a pen or pencil and paper and actually write, and I think there's immense value in that, because neurologically speaking, forming a letter with a pencil is very different to hitting a key on a keyboard. I think to learn spelling, it's better if a student writes, but this is a way of the computer being the tutor rather than the parent, and I think there are often flashpoints when parents try to teach spelling. So Spelling Tutor, it requires the children to write, and it requires them to correct their own work, and I think it is an incredibly effective way of teaching spelling. It's not a package where you can input your own spellings to learn for a spelling test. It's working through the spellings that children need to learn in primary school. So it is a great package, but it's not to prepare for spell tests. So my experience, it's incredibly well researched. They've really invested in checking that the product actually works, and each of them can be bought separately or in a bundle, and the price goes down if it's bought in a bundle. It is actually a monthly subscription, but they do offer free trials, and I have details of the free trials in my ebook that you can download. I must tell you though, that Engaging Eyes really does get a reaction. I've told you that some students absolutely love it, but some students absolutely hate it, and they say it makes me feel sick, it makes me feel dizzy, please Miss Moat, don't make me do it. And because of the fact that I'm running an after school club and I want children to come, I don't force them to do it if they really put up a fight. and yet they're probably the students that would benefit the most from it. So if you can bribe your children at home if they need it, and you know pretty quickly if they need it, because the reporting and engaging, guys, is very, very good. So it is worth checking the free trial to see if your child will use it, and if they do, I just want to share with you, this is a year 10 student that I worked with, and in 7 months he increased his reading speed by over 1/3. Now, he was preparing for his GCSEs and he didn't get a reader in his GCSEs. If you read slowly and you're doing an exam where you have a finite period of time to answer the questions, it really is a big disadvantage. So helping children improve their reading speed is excellent, and he was so grateful that he did this. That completes the solutions that I'm going to show you in this video. I hope that by seeing what the solutions look like, understanding better what they help with, and hearing about my experience has better equipped you to make more informed decisions as to which solution would best help your child. This video is designed to supplement this PDF. I've talked about electronic intervention solutions here, but all this other information can be got by downloading this PDF, the details of which are below. If you click on the link below, it will take you to this page. And on this page you can hit this button, and all you need to do is input your email and you will get this resource. And it really is a comprehensive resource. That this is the free training that I've found that's really excellent. So free training for parents. These are the paper-based solutions, which if you have compliant children that will do it with you, they are excellent. You do not have to use electronic solutions if you're not comfortable with them. And then I've just given you more information on the electronic solutions too. Oh, I have included a product here that I saw in a conference and I was really impressed with them, but I haven't used it myself, so you can't benefit from my experience, but I definitely thought this looked good and would be worth exploring further. I'd just like to complete this video by wishing you the very best of luck in teaching your children, and I hope you can use your precious time to do that rather than redoing research that I've already done. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you do so, then hit the bell button and you'll be informed when I create new videos. Thanks for watching.